I was a commercial sex worker for years. That's the only way I could do so after being ill for a long time. Over these years, I never attempted to steal from any of my clients. I don't understand what made me to take this money, which has left me in trouble. I ran away from South Africa with 1.5 million rands. The funny part of it, I had no one searching for me. I built 3 houses here in Zimbabwe without any complications. Now the buildings are finished and this snake started appearing. It comes to me at every corner. Yellow viewers, welcome once again to another educative episode of African Confessions HD, right here on Extraordinary Africa. My name is Solution Uncle. If you're still new in this show, we publish lifetime confessions. Usually we publish anonymously for their own safety reasons. Listeners, you have a challenge you are feeling, you want to share, but there's no one to share with. Don't be afraid, don't be shy. We are your closest relative. We won't disclose your information, but we would like people to assist you with advice. Don't be shy, don't be afraid. It's simple. Go to your WhatsApp, send us a WhatsApp text on our number, +263 775 597 775, +263 775 597 775. Or you can contact our PR Fidel Goch at his Gmail account, fidelgoch@gmail.com. Listeners, if you're still new, you're still getting in touch with us, feel free, don't be afraid. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that once we upload, you will be notified. To those who has already subscribed, check if you hit the notification bell. Please do it right now. Thank you so much. I don't want to continue, waste your time. Let's go straight into the confessions. My fellow brothers and sisters, I'm in a difficult time. This is what is now happening to me after stealing 1.5 million rands. Stealing is the worst thing I did in my life. Before moving to South Africa, I was married to this Zimbabwean man. He was so much interested in women, to such an extent he don't wanted other women to know he gave me a wife. When we started to stay together, we went and got HIV tests. We all tested negative, but after we entered into the marriage, he changed completely. That's when he started showing more interest in ladies. Without much time, he married another lady. I accepted it because he was from a royal family. That's what they do in their tradition. Little did I know the other wife was HIV positive. Later, they went and got tested together and diagnosed with it. They started medications without my knowledge. I only have one child and the illness started on me. It was discovered I was HIV positive after my brother paid a visit. I was heartbroken. How could that man remain silent for all these years while I was struggling? He was risking my life. Maybe he wanted to start a new life with that new lady he married. I was heartbroken and left my child because I wanted to start a new life. Went back to my parents' home. I stayed with my parents. But old people, sometimes they couldn't afford to do anything for a living. They were looking up to me because I was their only child. They were wishing I could go to work for their upkeep because they were relying on me. When I was married, my husband was the one taking care of them. So maybe he took advantage that he was taking care of my parents and started doing all this to me. A friend was in South Africa. He called me and said, "Why are you in that trouble? Come here, there is a plenty of opportunities here." That's when I thought to move to South Africa. I arrived here in South Africa. What I was expecting when I was still in Zimbabwe is not what I saw in South Africa. In South Africa, I started staying in this mukuku I have never slept in such a house since I was still a toddler. It wasn't easy to accept and to get used to it, but with time, that was what on the ground, so we have to accept. That friend of mine was a commercial sex worker, but she was doing it in the night. During the afternoon, she could be at work. Sometimes she could never do such. But as a person who was sick all these years, I don't have that power to work at jobs. I thought to join her and become a commercial sex worker. So I've been a commercial sex worker in Pretoria for over 8 years. I've been in Pretoria. I slept with many men of different tribes and cultures, different skins, from different places, different nationalities. I slept with them, but there is this thing I was to never do. I was never attempted to steal any of their money. It might be a cell phone, because some of these men might come to us very drunk. And sometimes we got attempted. Maybe I should steal and run away, but I wasn't in that. I just want to live and able to send my parents money back in home. So here as a commercial sex worker, last year but one, it came this rich man. He wanted to sleep with me. He hooked me. We went to a lodge. In that lodge, the man was drinking, I don't know that type of beer, but that type of beer is very powerful because he was extremely drunk. The man walked with a briefcase full of money. It shocked me when he was to give me the money. I was shocked, wow, and why this person could walk with such amount of money. Is he not afraid of being robbed or the money might be taken away? That high amount. It wasn't the last time for that man to hook me. The next day he hooked me with the money. The next day he hooked me. He was always drunk when we arrived at the room. Sometimes we couldn't have sex. He would just pay me in the morning. This other day I was attempted. He was extremely drunk. I took the money and went straight to the bus terminus. I got into Mzansi Express and went back home to Zimbabwe with the money. The first time I arrived in Zimbabwe with such amount of money, I was feeling like I'm the boss. I was feeling like everyone is admiring me. The first thing I did was to build a house for my parents. I started building other 2 houses so that I can generate income from those houses. For the past 1.5 years, I've been building. There was no complications. It was seeming like clean money. I had no report from my friends. They said there was no one searching for me in South Africa. Like I did nothing. It was surprising and shocking. How could that man remain silent whilst I took such amount of money? I invested in Zimbabwe. I have these 3 houses. As soon as the houses finished, the one I brought for my parents, I let them go and stay at their house. But last month, in the morning, I was called by their neighbors. They were saying something fishy is happening. Entered the house and discovered all my parents died. I was the first person to get in their bedroom. I managed to saw a tail of a snake moving from the house through a window. I have never seen a snake with that type of color. It's red in color. A red snake. I explained to everyone who was there, but they didn't understand. My parents were buried, but after their burial, I saw them in daylight. They'll come to me and say, why could you just left us at our poor house? Look, you killed us. I started being suspicious. What is happening? I went to a local prophetess, a white garment prophetess, and told him a story. She said, I took ritual money. The man who was the owner of that money before wanted someone to take away all his burden. But this was affecting his family. Now I saw a snake. It comes to my house at every 12:15 midnight. It rolled all over my body, then started sucking my breath. This is my story. When it's sucking, I feel there is blood coming out. And I'm getting exhausted with days. This thing might kill me, and I feel it's good and right time to confess to your audience, Solution Uncle. Please do not disclose my telephone number. Please do not disclose my identity. Some of these confessions are strictly for the people above the age of 18. All viewers below the age of 18 are advised not to watch or listen. The next confession is strictly for the people above the age of 18. All viewers below the age are advised not to watch or listen. Yellow Solution Uncle, good day. I really need advice on what to do. I broke up with my ex in 2019 after I discovered that I was HIV positive and I was afraid of rejection. So I decided that I'll only date someone as the same status. Fast forward 2020, I met a guy and told him I can't date him cause my status. And he told me he didn't mind cause he has friends and family who were also positive. We got married in January 2022. I got pregnant immediately and delivered a baby girl in November. Because I was undetectable, my husband was not infected and the baby was negative. He was all loving and caring. In 2023, I noticed he was seeing someone else, and I also saw pictures of them together in bed and some other places. He started abusing me physically and emotionally, even told me that I should be grateful for him for marrying me if he leaves no men who want me considering my HIV status. I was working even before I met him, and I can comfortably take care of my baby and myself. He told me he wants us to have another baby, and then I plead with him to wait a little because my baby is just over a year and I had cause. The doctor advised us to wait after 2 years considering my status. But he is angry and is not talking to me, and he said I should not be surprised if I heard he has gotten another woman pregnant. I am tired, exhausted, emotionally and mentally. I don't know what to do because this is the thing which happened to my parents. Mom never disclosed to Dad the status, and Dad was infected. They were settled down by elders, but at the end, they ended up fighting. Dad was taking advantage, saying, I am the one who forgot and forgave you for what you did. You tried to kill me, you murderer. This is the thing which later made my mom to kill herself. My dad is no longer there. So from my background experience and what is now happening to me, I am afraid. What's your advice to me? Yellow Solution Uncle, please publish my story anonymously. I met this lady in town some years ago. We started talking as friends, but with time we moved into a relationship. We are now boyfriend, girlfriend, about to marry each other. The girl supported me emotionally and financially, especially when I was school. She was someone who was hustling, buying and selling items. She paid half of my fees in my final year after my parents failed. After I graduated, I went and told her I wanted to introduce her to my parents. We went to my parents. My parents showed negative attitudes because they are saying, you are educated. You can't marry someone who is uneducated. This is the story which is affecting me. Yet she told me a story. She said she will be possessed sometimes. There is a spirit of her relatives which comes into her. I accepted and volunteered. I will helping her so that the spirit can be removed. My parents discovered all this, and there is this smell of a goat comes out from her sometimes when she is possessed. They are taking advantage of that, but deep down I know they don't want her because they are saying she is uneducated. This is my story. Will you advise me to leave the girl, or I should fight with her till she's okay? Because she's the person I love. But I also respect my parents because they've been there for me. That's my story. Post anonymously.